Imagine you're standing outside a repair shop in Parma, Italy. It is early, but not early enough that the world feels magical, just early enough that everything is cold, damp, and mildly irritating. Lights are on in the workshop humming, and you can hear the air compressor cycling inside. My truck is in there somewhere, up on a lift, probably looking as embarrassed as I feel. Alessandro, the mechanic, steps outside with a paper in his hand, and he's got that expression mechanics get when they're about to charge you money but want to appear sympathetic about it. He says, "It's not bad, but it's not good either," which is Italian for "prepare your wallet, my friend." And as he lists the damages, axles, bumper, chassis, front brakes, all I can think about is how easy one tiny lapse in concentration can turn into a 5-figure lecture about personal responsibility. But hey, that's trucking. Or at least, that's Truck Sim Diaries. And in this video series, I record my Euro Truck Simulator 2 gameplay, and I use it as a backdrop for my unscripted thoughts on what's going on in my life and the world around me. Sometimes I will have a lot to say, sometimes I will just comment on the gameplay, and sometimes I'll just be quiet. Either way, I am glad you're here, so let's take a look at the brand new fixed up truck that we get and how we can get out of this expensive workshop. Because as you remember, last episode we kind of did a horrible crash with it, and it needed some well, it needed a lot of repairs, but she's looking greater than ever. And today's job is going to be pork from Parma to Badajoz, Spain. So we're gonna go for a pretty long drive. First things first though, we need to go and pick up the trailer and load up the cargo. It is at the same place where we left the cargo last episode, when we took the last batch of olive oil from Greece to Italy. So let's boot it up and go get our trailer. As always, I have to redo the seat settings when the mechanics spin in the truck because it's their favorite pastime to just make everything different. And we really are in an early morning. It is 4:58, so it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be a pretty long drive. I need to hook up the trailer before all the stats for the job is displayed. So we're gonna do that first. It's right in here. Tesoro Gustoso. trailers attached. Let's load it up. All right, cargo's loaded.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Turn left. Take the second exit.
And we are on the move. I am going to do my darndest to do this without damages. I'm going to try to be super careful. I'm probably going to forget that I said that in about, I don't know, 2 minutes. But I'm feeling it. All right, this is a long one. It's 2,086 kilometers. We got fuel for 618 kilometers, so we're pretty close to needing a refuel. ETA is 27 hours and 24 minutes of in-game time, which translate to about 1.5 hours of real-world driving. We always go way longer than that, so just be warned. Next rest is in 13 hours. So we're good on rest, but we're gonna need to top off the fuel tank in just a little bit. And it is Sunday afternoon. Everyone is away doing something. My wife is hanging out with, well, everyone is meeting their friends. And I'm not. So I got this.
Keep left.
And to be honest, it feels great. You remember how I told you that I've been, I tried to do social events one per month, so I didn't end up, so I tried to do something about me being a little antisocial. Well, I have become quite the social creature. But, enough is enough. I need some me time. So that's the priority for today. And we have stepped into the negative degrees outside. It is in the middle of November, and it is below freezing. I went for a short hike yesterday when I took my daughter figure skating. We had to wait for about 5. I was dressed for the hike, which means I was not dressed for standing still outside. So I got real super cold just standing there waiting. Like I said, we were 5 minutes early, so we had to wait for them to just open the doors so we could step inside. It's fucking brutal. I should have just taken us back to the car, but I didn't for some reason. So I just kind of stood there like an idiot. And I got really cold. So I had about 90 minutes and I found this little trail that wasn't too far from where I dropped her off, so decided to go on that trail. It took almost half the trail to just regain my body heat. So when I get cold, I think it's from when I did my military service, because really cold, and after that, my hands kind of can't really handle it. So I was so cold, my hands fucking freezing. It took forever, and I was keeping a high pace just to build some heat up, but you know, sometimes you just can't win. And I didn't. I got really cold hands. It really hurt. That's what I get from being stupid. Oh, here we go. Cover your ears, honey. There were two cops, there were two cops standing outside, so I had to let it fly for a little longer. Sorry about that. And because the cold is here, this is when the trial period starts, and we'll see how long I take before I just, I don't know, lose my mind. Because the darkness is already here, and it's not the end of the world. Or rather, I should say, I have been trying to mitigate the dark by just, you know, going outside with a flashlight or headlamp instead. Like, still do the things, but just try to light your way. You know, light my way through it. It is alright.
Keep right.
Obviously can't see as well, but, you know, at least you're doing it. But now the cold hits, and, well, fuck.
Exit. Right.
And the guy that I told you sorry, not yesterday, but last episode, who's riding with me at work, the guy is training to be an electrician. He's asking a lot of questions. Like, he's very curious about the job-specific things, but also, like, what it's like. Because he hasn't been doing anything like crafts work, contract work, previously in his life, so he doesn't know. And I think that's a pretty good start, because, you know, it's always good to have some experience from other parts of life before you settle on something as some kind of job, like just like this. And he asked me what's the worst part about the job, and like what kind of situations don't I like. And I guess, you know, depending on who you talk to, they have, you know, people find different things the worst. By far, the thing that I find the worst is the elements, having to work outside when it's cold. Because I can't just, you know, layer up. Because I need to do, you know, electrician stuff. I'm gonna pass by this gas station. We got 459 kilometers left, so I'll let it run for a little longer. We're gonna have to stop here. I have to do, bomb squad stuff. Cut the blue wire. Have my fingers out. And that's fucking rough. I hate it. If I could remove one aspect of my job, that'd be it. Just being outside is not the problem. Having to constantly go outside and then inside and then outside and then inside. That's how I work. That becomes tedious because you have to undress. Like, say I'm gonna run a wire from inside the cable from inside the house to outside. I need to, drill from the inside out, and I need to go outside and connect the thing, and then I need to go inside again to push the thing, and then I need to go outside to pull the thing, and then, it's a lot of back and forth, like with like that kind of stuff. And it sucks. But that's pretty much it. But I mean, I know other people find dealing with troublesome people, clients, because sometimes I do have to go work for where most common thing is people have they're pretty skeptical about contractors of any kind, be it electricians or plumbers or carpenters or whatever, because there's this trope that we're always out, that we're always out to screw them over or some shit. And I get that. And I used to work as a security guard once in my life. And this line of work that I do now, it is pretty similar to that line of work in that aspect, because I go somewhere to help someone with something. And it might be trouble along the way. And I don't mind that at all. I find that, rewarding. But, sometimes you get into these weird situations where you're kind of on the opposite end of a problem. And the person you need to, the client in this case, or for whatever reason I was interacting with people in my previous line of work, they might not always want to play along. And I find that a pretty interesting challenge, because I know that much like how people expect, contractors to screw them over, they expect people in uniform to be assholes. Which, they probably have very good reason for that. Both of them. And I always found that, and still do, find that an interesting aspect of the job, to kind of change people's minds about, make them realize that,
Please watch the speed.
I understand their worries, but I am not that person. And it's not very hard to, it's not very hard to make someone feel that you're on their side. Everyone just want to be seen. Everyone everywhere. So when you get to the point where they understand that you hear them, like, I'm on their side, I understand what they want, I get it. So when you get to that point, it is just a breeze. And I enjoy that, working with people who are a little troublesome at times. It's a nice challenge, because as long as you're a good person, you tend to be all right. Now, if I were out to screw them over, that would not be very fun challenge at all, because I would just dig my own grave, I guess. I don't know. Some people may like that. I don't know. But I know that a lot of people in my, and a lot of my colleagues, they don't like to interact with the end user or the client at all. They like the office people to do that, and I don't, because I think it's a lot easier if I think of myself as being, on one side we have the client, and on the other side we have the company, my employer. And my employer wants, you know, as high reward as possible for as low cost as possible. And my client wants as much service and material as possible for as little money as possible. And I find myself to be kind of in the middle of that. And I don't go out of my way to earn my company money. That is not my priority here. My priority is, building a long-lasting relationship with people based on trust. Because that tends to make my workday a lot less stressful. All right, we're running out of fuel. We should find a filling station, and there's one right here. Let's go with this. Servizio.
Never mind. I'll find a new
Or was it not here? It probably wasn't. Oh shit! It was right up there. I should have just kept going. Hey, I didn't promise you I'd take the best route. I promised you I would do it without breaking the truck. This will be fun. It's a little detour. It looks like we're gonna get onto some smaller roads just as we got on the highway, huh? Oh well. Haven't been here, so that's nice. Oh, we got some game news. At the end of November, the new DLC, Nordic Horizons, is going to be released. It's November 27th, I believe, that they set as the date for the release, and I've been looking forward to it a lot. I've mentioned it a couple times here in the diary. But don't expect me to play it on the release date, because I play a heavily modded game, and they're going to update the Scania trucks. They're going to update the entirety of Sweden, Norway, and Finland's map. So it's going to be. I'm going to let it be out for a couple weeks before I really dig into it, and I need to make sure that I can get my truck working and sounding and looking the way that I want it to before I commit to the Nordic Horizon. So even though we're getting close to the release date, we're not really there yet.
Caution. Please watch the speed limit.
But pretty soon we're getting there. It is going to be, I look forward to it a lot though. It's just going home, so to speak. And I figured maybe we'll continue this roaming in Europe.
Caution. Please mind the speed.
Like when this contract is over, I think I'm gonna continue with some roaming contracts so that we get to see, like, drive in between a bunch of different countries and not stay in the same region. Because when we get to the point that the truck is perfect or good enough at least, and all the mods are playing along and everything is nice, and Nordic Horizons is released, then we are for sure going to stay in Scandinavia for a long time, because I want to see all of it. But that is probably, realistically, a couple months away at the soonest, I believe. probably sometime maybe next year, because it's gonna release at the end of November, and then December hits, and not a lot of things tend to happen in December when it comes to game mods and such.
Turn left.
And it's kind of hard to imagine now. We're like I said, we're in the middle of this November, and I still feel that December and Christmas feels a long ways away. But it's really not. It is almost upon us. Just when I needed it the most. Filling station shows up. That is just great. One wrong turn, huh? We ended up on the... Oh, come on! Who fucking does that? The rides up right behind, starts honking. Well, we're gonna look at the map first, so he just gonna have to wait. We're talking resting places here. We need to rest in 6 hours and 52 minutes, and we got a long... Look at this. We got a really long drive ahead of us. So 6 hours should be around... No, that's 7 hours. So 6 hours should put us like here. 6 hours and 20 minutes. Not enough. Oh, this looks like a... Yeah, this 5 hours and 24 minutes. We got one and a half, about hour and 20 minutes more. So let's go. use those things quite a lot at work, those truck-mounted skylifts. They're very useful. And I think it's a lot of fun to go up on those. I always, speaking of the elements, I always nail right in the middle of the bad weather. Because most of the time I've been up on one of those and it's raining. So like if you want to know when the next time a torrential rain is going to hit Europe, just ask me for whenever the next time I'm going to be up on one of those things, because that's going to be it. But it's still fun. Hopefully we're going to get to connect to the highway again pretty soon, because this is not doing our, as you can see here, this is not doing our fuel efficiency any favors. Could go for a mountain climb though. Why? One of the biggest reasons that I want to do mountaineering is because then I get to buy those ice axes. And you need 2 of them for climbing, like for climbing and for safety. I've always thought they look so fucking cool. And climbing gear in general, it is like peak, you know how autism is the spectrum? Well, just clicking around with climbing gear, that tickles my autism right behind the ears. Carabiners, lanyards, retention cords, rope, the fucking climbing harnesses, all that. Oh, fucking love that stuff. Never done it in any large capacity at all. I did some rappelling when I was in the military, but that doesn't count. And the helmets and the headlamps and everything. Just so cool. And those big spikes that you put on your boots? Yeah. I could collect climbing gear. I don't even need to climb, but to be honest, I could just go for the gear. Uh-oh. We've got a fucking border crossing coming here, and I've got no clue what the fuck what we're getting. Dark blue, white, and red. Is that France? I think it's France, guys. Yeah, it's France. We are in France. But we're going to Spain, so I don't know what the fuck kind of detour this is, but yeah, I guess it all makes sense. I should have looked at the map when we pulled over to try to figure out what kind of trouble I got us into. But I do this as part of my intrinsic motivation, so it doesn't matter. Just doing it for the sake of doing it. And that's the whole vibe of this game. I've been on this before, this topic, how there's no rewards. There's no reward system in this game, really. It is just all about doing it for the sake of doing it. And I'm all for it. And speaking of gear, I've had quite this, you know how I jump between interests? I told you. Like I said, autism is a spectrum. And the hyper-focus, that's one of my traits, so I get really into something, and then I get really into something else. And sometimes I drop the thing, and sometimes it's just on pause, but one thing that keeps coming back that I've been talking about a lot lately is the hiking. Normally I do that in the autumn, beginning of the winter. That's when it's the nicest outside for that kind of activity. But and on the topic of gear, I have upgraded my hiking gear quite a lot. A couple new backpacks, new hiking pants, new Gore-Tex jacket. It's fucking great. Because right after climbing gear, hiking gear is one of the best. This is really a good place to pass, dude. No, I don't think so. And you know how when you get to the hiking gear, like the hiking stores, it is just tailored to me. It's like I don't understand people who go to church, but I could visit a hiking gear store with no intention to buy anything, just spend time there.
Take the second exit.
Just dreaming of the stuff. There's so much stuff and it's so nice.
Exit
Are these Alps,
now.
you think? I think these are Alps. That'd be fucking cool to visit the Alps.
At the roundabout, take the third exit. Exit now.
All right, I think it's time for some questions here. First question is from the subreddit Happy Upvote. What is the greatest physical pain you've ever felt? And I've hurt myself quite a lot. Couple of highlights is a broken knee. My kneecaps basically split in half when I was doing the kick from Karate Kid. You know that the if you know, you know that thing. And when I did that, I was like 14 years old. And when I did that, my kneecap, it just went out of its socket. And then back again, and then it hit my thigh bone, and then it split. But that didn't hurt very bad. I remember it as sounding very awful, but there wasn't much pain. And I've had a light fixture fall from like 4 meters above me and land with a sharp end on my arm, so it cut into the bone, severing, you know, a lot of muscle attachment points and stuff. That also didn't hurt because, well, I suppose shock is involved in both of these examples. I have When I was splitting wood, I cut myself in the other knee with my razor blade sharp axe. Really deep. Also no pain. Mountain biking accidents, you know, BMX accidents, whatever. But not much pain. I think the greatest pain I've ever felt in my life was a headache, actually. I was in bed in the middle of the night, just woke up, and it felt like I would rather die than just withstand whatever was going on. It was really scary. I woke my wife up, and she got really scared too. And then that kind of subsided, and I haven't felt it before that or after that. So I don't know what the fuck that was. But that was the worst pain I've ever felt. It's that one splitting headache. It didn't last for very long. It was like 10 minutes or something. It was excruciatingly painful, 10 minutes. Alright, next question. What is your favorite meal? Oh shit, I forgot to tell you. I have done a thing. I have become quite the cook. For the better part of my adult life, I've been a vegetarian and a vegan. But I have since then started eating meat again. And I've started and vegan food is not good at all. It is fully fabricated, you know, basically ready to heat meals. It sucks. It doesn't taste well, and it's not fun to cook. But that's part of that's part of it. That's part of what makes being a vegan cool, is that there's a fucking effort and that you sacrifice something to do something good, you know? But yeah, all that aside, I think I started to move away from that when I got kids, because neither me or my wife had any ideas that the kids were gonna be vegetarians or vegans. Because, you know, mostly because kids just want to be like everyone else. And we didn't want to force anything on them. That would make them different. If they ever, you know, if they ever choose to stop eating meat, then they're gonna get all the support that they want. But they haven't, so I've started being a better cook because well, one, because the food is so fucking good, and two,
Keep right, and then exit right.
I want to make good food for my kids.
Exit right.
And, you know, they're kids, so they want to eat, you know, ready-made meatballs and stuff like that. It's like their favorite. I guess we're back on the highway, huh? What a fucking detour. Jesus. Majority of this ride is... Nah, not the majority, but... That was something. Just one wrong turn and... Yeah. Anyway, so I started cooking, and it's fucking hard, man. Like, making, you know, just making food that you're able to eat by yourself is not a problem, but to make something like really, really tasty... it also goes hand in hand with when I started to, you know, count my calories and eat, you know, work out, you know, high protein centric meals. I guess that's also a part of the reason why I've gotten into it.
Keep left.
Now, so I'm basically learning how to cook at 42 years old, like meat-based dishes, which is pretty much what all cooking is. And it's just so beautiful because the better you can cook, the less, for me at least, the better I can cook, the less complicated or complex I want to make the dishes. Like if I can make a steak really, really, really nice, you know, I don't want to ruin it in any way or distract. There we go. I promised. I couldn't. Fuck. First strike. So, when I want to make, you know, when I can make that steak really well prepared, well executed, the less complicated or complex I want to make the dish. There's no way for me to reach that rest place without totally fucking up. Oh, there's a rest place coming right here. We need to rest in 1 hour and 52 minutes. And since the guy, I think what we planned was a little further down the road, but you know, you never know. Let's take the safe bet and just stop here for a rest. And after the rest, I'm going to tell you how I became the greatest chef in the country.
Okay, let's find a new route.
Let's take some rest. Yeah, we wake up at 10 o'clock. Only the crickets on the highway are awake. In this cold, dark, I wouldn't want to go look for a fancy bathroom. When nature calls, you go to nature for answer. All right, let's get the rest of our sleep. All right. What we got? Oh, this is where we're gonna rest. Yeah, probably would have made it, but who cares? We got 18 hours of driving, and we need to rest in 14 hours. So we're gonna do one more rest, and I figured let's just do it in the middle, so that we don't have to, you know, take any chances here. All right. Let's do this. So I was looking up on how to, what I started doing was preparing a lot of chicken dishes. And if you don't know, chicken fucking sucks. Because of the different diseases you can get from bacteria, possibly in chicken. So cooking chicken is a bit of a lottery, and you can make some fancy stews from it with a bunch of stuff in it to make it to mask the dry, boring chicken.
Keep right.
Same with meat and fish and everything. But what I did was, I looked into how to fucking I don't care about, I don't have no prestige. I just want good food. I have no, I don't care about the process. I don't care what it's like. I just want the end result is all that matters. And if you're anything like that, you need to get a sous vide. SOUSVIDE. It is a hot water bath where you put the food in a vacuum bag, and you lower it into the warm water bath, which the circulator maintains at a constant temperature. And with that thing, I can make pretty much anything taste better than at a restaurant, because that's how restaurants do it. And it's changed my life, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. It is one of the best purchases I've ever made in my entire life. Just because of how great the result is. So you will get perfectly tender meat, chicken, and fish. And vegetables, for that matter. Like potatoes and whatever. You can make in this thing. It is just amazing. So my favorite dish is a moose steak that I have made myself, with just potatoes and mushroom sauce. I had that yesterday, and it was it is eye-watering how beautiful you can make the end product with this. So I let the moose steak sit for 4 hours at 58 degrees exactly, which just makes it it's just so beautiful. It is almost like a religious experience. Now, when you take the whatever thing you prepared in the circulator, it's gonna look pretty boring. Like, it's gonna be this gray. Cover your ear, Sonny. It's gonna be just this gray meat. So you need to fry it at a high temperature for just a short, like a minute or two on each side, just to give it some kind of crust or whatever. I use a hand torch, like those like little flamethrower things. It's just so good. So my favorite, and it's better than at a restaurant. The dish I made, how last episode or episode before that, I talked about how the restaurant, the food was so good. This is better. It is just so much better. So that's great. That's some great, a great new thing in my life. You just need to plan ahead, because the product that when you're finished, you have this vacuum wrapped, completely prepared food that just needs some finishing. So you could stack that in the refrigerator and just pull it out and prepare it whenever you're ready,
Keep left.
Oh, we're starting to see Barcelona on on the fucking road signs. But I don't think we're in Spain yet. I'm not sure. I don't think so. We've got some nice highway though. I'm gonna try to make it across to this lane here. I'm gonna try to save this fuel economy here. We're at 34.5 liters per 100 and 34.5. We're not doing very well for how much highway we have. The detour screwed it over. All right, next question. What car do you instantly think... Sorry, this is from the subreddit No Stupid Questions. What car do you instantly think of as having an asshole behind the wheel? And I know all of you playing along at home, you're imagining a BMW right now. Well, so am I. A BMW or an Audi. It is just going to be a middle management cockhead asshole. Or a little kid douchebag behind the wheel. Mostly the largest assholes are middle-aged men in middle management. Those are the fucking yapping little dogs of humanity. And we're getting into the sunrise here, but if we're talking about just the recent days in Euro Truck Simulator, well, the Alfa Romeo is not really, you know, it's not really looking very well. All right, next question. Men of Reddit. This is from the subreddit Ask Men. Men of Reddit. What do you do to make yourself happy? And to make myself happy, well, I do one of the things that I love doing. And I've been thinking about this, and this might get a little heavy. But like, so what do I like doing? I like doing this. I like hiking, which I've been talking endlessly about. I like kayaking, and I like mountain biking. So if I get a moment to make myself happy, I'm gonna do some of those things. And when I imagine those things, I imagine myself doing them alone. And now we're back to loneliness and or solitude. And my complicated relationship with that. Because all my life I've been living with the sensation of, and I think this goes back to my childhood. My parents weren't very engaged in me as a child. I was, most of the time I was in the way. I had a very loud, bigger sister, and
Keep left.
my parents didn't really, I don't think they really wanted kids at all. And since my sister demanded so much of my attention, or sorry, of their attention, which little they had to spare. I am not saying that they curled her or anything, but from my point of view, she took they had no effort to give. So she felt probably that she had to take it. And that resulted in them being like needing to make sure that I did not do the same thing. So whenever, you know, for me, I've always had this feeling of whatever I want is shameful and it's wrong of me to want that. And it goes through all aspects of my life, everything I want to do. Everything I want to do for fun, everything I want to do for everything I want for food, everything I want, you know, love, sex, friendship. Like if I feel that I want friendship or love from someone, I feel like I am doing something wrong for wanting that. Or just wanting it from anyone. Doesn't have to be a specific person, just feeling like I need this, I want this, I want, you know, I want love, which is a it's a pretty normal human want. I know this logically, I know this, but I don't feel it. So whenever I want to do something, I would actually rather do it by myself, because then there's no shame attached to it. And I've also, like, because they acted like this, I've always felt like the best thing I can do is just be small and be out of the way. Like, I need to find somewhere and just stow myself away. And this is horrible, I know this, logically. No one should feel like this, and I know that I haven't earned this. Like, I'm a decent person. This is horrible. I know this, but this is how it's always been, and this is how it continues to be. Even though I don't think about it as a big thing, instinctively this is how I am. And I'm also very private with what I do, because I do what I want to do. But if someone asks, like if I have plans, I don't want to share them with anyone. I don't want anyone to see me do my things that I want to do. I'm not doing anything weird. What do you think of this Mercedes? Speaking of assholes behind the wheels of German vehicles. So whenever I do something that I want to do, I do it in secrecy. And I do it by myself, most of the time. And I get very sensitive about it, because when I take the courage to ask someone if they want to do something with me, if they say no, I get super sad. And I feel like I have fucked up. Like, why did I even ask, you know? And the things that I love to do, it's solo projects, because then I won't have to be dependent on anyone else. You know how I was talking about, you know, how it's hard to get people to commit to activities? Well, I take it really hard. I try not to. You know, it's a constant effort, but I can't stop myself from you know, taking it personally. I keep trying though. Like I try to get these guys to climb the highest mountain in Sweden with me, and you know, logically I know that if they end up not doing it, it's probably because it's a bit of an effort, not because I'm a bad person or anything. But still, that's not where I go in my mind. Oh, you think we're going into Spain? I think we're going into Spain. Those bush-clad mountains look Spanish to me. Viaduct de Rome. Oh, look at this. Gotta keep my eye. Oh, look at this. Wow. That's so cool. I want to go here. Yeah, here we go. Spain. Policia. So yeah, whenever I want to make myself happy, I just make sure that I'm off grid. And it's more of a relief than it's enjoyment. Because like I found myself a place to stow myself away. Like I am so happy when everyone else has something to do because then I won't be in the way. I snap out of this, like I don't live with this constant pressure, but the feelings are still there. Does that make sense? But to answer your question, or the question, if I were to make myself happy right now, I would pack my backpack with whatever I got and go out in the woods for as long as I could. Next question. This is from the subreddit Ask Men. Guys, what is that one thing that as soon as you put it on, you get instantly 100% more confident? I feel like I've answered this question before. I might just not have removed it from the questions list, but I'll answer it again. I don't mind. I think I got a couple things that make me feel more confident when I put them on. First and foremost, of course, my work pants. I guess for obvious reasons, because I am very, when I wear those, I am, I'm a very can-do kind of man. Because when I wear those, the the problems that I get presented with, I am 100% capable of solving. Plus, I think, work pants with tools and them makes you look kind of, I don't know, cool. At least you look competent. And looking competent surely makes you feel confident, I think. I think there's a red line to this, because the second thing that I can think of is a pair of gloves that I have for hiking and bushcrafty kind of stuff. And they're yellow leather gloves, but they're like yellow and black because of how much, wear and just patina, soot there is on them. I love them. They look really cool because of because of how worn in they are. I really like wearing those gloves. They're not the best, they transfer heat pretty. They're not very hot, at least, because whenever it's cold, my fingers get really cold.
Keep left.
Also, I got a new hat that makes me feel, more confident when I put it on. It's nothing special. Well, it is a very good looking hat. It says, it's got a stitched illustration of some mountains in a river, and it says Nordanvind. That is Swedish, and it translates something along like the winds from the north. And that is, you can feel when like where I live, if the wind comes from the south, it's going to be warm. If the wind comes from north, it's going to be cold, very cold, because that's the Arctic wind that comes when winter comes. So whenever I wear that, I also feel like more comfortable. Confident. I think those are my main three things. My work pants, my hiking gloves, and my trucker's hat. Alright, do we have a telepass? Yes, we don't. I think maybe here? We'll see. Yeah. Also, I'm very peculiar about what I wear. Like I said, autism is a spectrum. And if I am in clothes that does not make me comfortable, I am out of there. I can't do whatever I need to do. I could not take a office job where I needed to wear a suit. It just wouldn't work because I can't wear a suit. I'm sorry. I love wearing a uniform of some kind, as long as it's a good one. If it's not, I'm sorry. I can't do that.
Keep right, and then exit.
Like
left.
the 10 instances of my life where I've had to wear a shirt and tie,
Right.
it's like setting a timer. countdown timer of a bomb. Like, we got 4 hours, and then this shit comes off, and I want an apology immediately. I want to wear the stuff that I wear, and like when I find something that I like, I buy 10 of them. Because I also have this cleanliness issue where I need everything to be clean and fresh. So I don't want another t-shirt. I don't want to change t-shirts, but I don't want a filthy one, so I get, you know, at least 7 identical ones, because I get to have the best of both worlds. And I figured that's just how I do it. Alright, what's the status of the trip here? We got 873 kilometers to go, so we've done more than half. We got 1338 until we need to refuel, so we're not going to have to refuel anymore. We need to rest in 5 hours and 45 minutes. We've got our rest stop planned, so we don't have to bother with that. ETA is exactly 11 hours now of in-game time. Estimated 35 minutes of real-world time. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode, but I think we're going to be just fine. I've been on one of these roads. We're a bit past Barcelona now, but I had my wife's sister lived there for a couple of years, and we went to visit, like, I don't know, twice or thrice.
Keep left.
And I remember the bus ride from the plane, and it was along, this arid fucking yeah, and you're like, living in Sweden, I feel how people are like, oh, you got such good nature in Sweden, and I'm like, do we though? Like, because I've seen so much of it, especially in my younger years when I wasn't really in the mindset of appreciating the small things around me. But I remember being on this bus and just looking outside the window at this arid fucking nothing, and I was like, yeah, maybe we do got some nice nature in Sweden, because this fucking unbearable desert climate is just, no one can be happy in this. I get in the cities, but like this, what is this? Not to complain, but oh look, there's like a fort or something up there on the, maybe that's the Spanish Inquisition. thinks I got reflexes of a cat. Am I right? All right, here's a good one. This is from the subreddit Ask Men again. One of the best subreddits there are, I think. A lot of interesting male-oriented questions. Good food for thought. All right, question is this. Contrary to popular belief about guys, the single men I know keep their homes exceptionally clean. What male stereotypes don't apply to you? So, I can only agree with the first sentence here. When I was living alone, my my house was, or my apartment rather, was my home. It was clinically clean. Most of the times, men who live alone, they don't make a huge mess, and also they have all the time in the world to clean, so they tend to do. I know only a few exceptions among the people that I've known throughout my life who can't can't save themselves, but they usually have some kind of oh shit, this was not telepath. We're gonna have to do a full stop here. But my home was very, very clean. And again, you know, autism is a spectrum. But it was really hard for me because I was a perfectionist at the time. I have since worked my way away from that. Thankfully. I don't do that anymore because that fucking sucks. Being a perfectionist, I mean. I had to keep every surface spotlessly clean. I had to keep everything in brand new shape. I was afraid of using things. I kept looking for errors on everything. Like I had this idea that I was always unlucky because everything I bought had an issue with it. Like as if I was exceptionally unlucky or anything like that. I know I'm not. It's everyone. You know, everything has its flaws, like little manufacturing defects or bumps or damages or scratches or whatever. But like, I didn't realize that, so I thought I was exceptionally unlucky, whereas I wasn't. I was just looking really, really hard to find something. And then I needed to get rid of it and get a new one that was in perfect shape. And I wanted to keep everything perfect. So perfect was like, yeah. It was a real problem for me. Like the car, everything I owned, bike, fucking clothing, everything had to be pristine. On a really autistic level. And thankfully, I've worked away from that. Whereas I've always almost gone the other way. I want everything to look a little worn in. Just because of the relief of not being, you know. The first scratch is almost a relief because then I'm past the idea of even trying to keep it, you know, in a spotless condition. And a lot of this is thanks to my wife because she's been with me through all this, all this experience of being me, and she's really helped me control my thoughts on what is a rational response to whatever she has a lot of respect for me, and my emotions and my you know, bugs and features. So thankfully, I've moved away from that. I'm not become a slob or anything. I still like to keep a clean home and clean, you know. I like cleanliness, not to a fanatical level or anything, but still.
Keep left.
A lot of signs here. Am I going on the E90?
Keep right.
I think I am. I am keeping right because I'm going on the squiggly thing. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so the second part of the question, what male stereotypes don't apply to you? Well, a male stereotype is that you can't talk about your emotions. I think I can. I think I am a good listener. I realize that listening is a part of solving a problem. I don't have to present a solution to said problem. Not always, but you know, I try. I don't think I'm very macho. Not that that's necessarily a male stereotype, but I know for sure that my personality don't live up to my looks. I look a lot tougher than I am. Oh, this is rest. Good. 2 hours and 18 minutes until we... This is perfect. Very nice. Very good. I mean, it is beautiful. It's just not, you know, nothing... The nature here, I mean. It's just nothing that I would want to spend any amount of time in.
Go straight on, and then turn right.
God, I love her voice. And when she says that, go straight on, the way her voice breaks a little bit, it's just, I don't know, there's something about that particular way she says it that I really like.
Please make a U-turn when possible.
Do I get to go in here, or am I fucking breaking... Nope. This is a nice place to stop for a rest, though, at the top of the mountain like this. You know, I am a bit of a mountaineer myself.
Reroute.
Even though there's a lot of cardboard here. I don't know why. Let's pull up next to the tanker. Or behind the tanker, maybe. Now let's go behind. All right. Let's get it. It's 20 minutes past 7. We wake up. Go off with some air. And just watch the traffic run by. I wonder what's with all the cardboard here. So anyway, we need to get back and get the rest of our rest. We wake up just around midnight. We get some breakfast at the gas station thing. Esso. And then it's time to get back to work. We got 629 kilometers left. We got fuel for 1,000 kilometers, so we won't need to refuel. ETA is estimated in-game time 8 hours, real-world time 25 minutes. And then job 2 of the 3-job contract is going to be over. The next one after this is tomatoes, I believe it was, without looking, from Badajoz to Berlin. So we're going to go from B to B. But we're not there yet. So let's hop in the truck, get moving. After this, I'm gonna go out to the gym for a workout. It is leg and core day today. My legs are still a little sore from the hike I did yesterday, but that's not gonna work as an excuse, so you know, might as well. And today I got planned to do, I don't know why legs are fucking sucks. No one likes it. It seems like no one likes. I'm sure there's people who like it's just a meme, basically, I think. But the meme has some truth to it, because fucking I don't like doing leg work. Let's let some air in here. So on the schedule today, I got Bulgarian split squats, and I fucking hate doing Bulgarian split squats.
Right.
And if you don't know what it is, if you know what a squat is, imagine that you take one leg and put it on a bench behind you, so you're doing one-legged squats, all the while holding, you know, dumbbell weights in your hands to get that extra torture. It's really a good workout, but man, it sucks. All right, looking at our fuel efficiency, we've not gone down as much as I wanted. We're at 33.6. Actually, I believe I need to fix my headlights. Hold on. This is how that looks. Adjust headlights, front auxiliary. There we go. It's a little better. Let's go. So yeah, I got a pretty tight workout schedule. I do Monday, Tuesday, and then I rest on Wednesday, and then I do Thursdays, and then I rest on Fridays, and then I do Saturday and Sunday. And if I do some kind of cardio, I need to do it on one of those days. If I don't do any cardio, it's gym for the 5 days. The rest days I need to rest, so I'm not allowed to do any hard work on Wednesdays and Fridays. And I've come to the point now where it's dark, it's pretty cold. My gym is out in my shed, and it's a little cold in there. Not properly insulated, not properly heated. I got this thermal fan that I run for a couple minutes while I do warm-up. And it's bearable, but all the weights are cold, and it's a little cold, it's a little dark. I wanted to get I wanted to put up some, so I've installed some basically industrial lighting in there, and it's very, it is a bit much. And I have this mirror wall so that I can see my, inspect my form and my progress, I guess. But in those lights, man, no one looks good. So I wanted to I figured I was going to install some of those, Philips Hue, LED, color changing, good stuff to basically get some RGB going. But, well, like I talked about earlier with all the hiking gear, I have been a little heavy on the expenses for the last 2 months, so I don't really have the funds to spend on expensive lighting as well. So I found, looks maybe some cops up here, you think? No cops, just an accident. So I found one of my kids' little disco lights. It's got some multicolored lights, and this thing spins, and it's just, it just creates this cutest little disco. It's not very bright, but it's something. So I got that. I turned the lights off, and then I turned on this multicolored rotating party light that I borrowed from my kids, and this thing has a little motor that goes like it's a poor man Philips Hue. Let's just call it that. But I like it. I like it. It's fun, and I play some loud music to drown out the lights, motor noise. let's do some more questions. What's your biggest insecurity? This is from subreddit Ask Reddit. I don't have many insecurities, I think. Because when I read this, the only thing that I can think of is this really old insecurity that I had from when I was a kid. That has turned into... I mean, I'm not insecure about it. It's this very specific thing. You know, if you the muscles on your chest where it connects to your armpit, like, you know, the breast muscle where around the shoulder area. I wasn't a big kid when I was young or anything, but I remember being very self-aware about that particular area, and I didn't think it looked very good. And now that I am in really good shape, and I have very low percentage of body fat, that part of my muscles, that part of my body right where the chest muscles connect to the shoulder at the armpit, it's looking very well chiseled. Not to brag, but you know, I am very proud of that. And I was like, I had this since for a short while that I don't really care, you know, that much. But for short, that the thought flew through my head. It's like, man, if little me could see this. And I've been thinking about
right,
little me,
and
you know.
then exit right.
Oh shit, do they have... No, it's just a stop. Oh, thank God. I was afraid that they were gonna reroute us. I wonder why they stopped the TV team for. Anyway, I keep thinking about, like, I'm doing a lot of things for little me. You know, because, you know, 6-year-old me still lives inside me. To a very high degree. And it's become a pretty big motivation for why I make some of the decisions that I do in my life. Because it is to make little me proud. But in general, on the topic of the questions, I don't have many insecurities. At least not physical, I guess. You know, going back to what I was talking about earlier. And my complex relation to solitude. And loneliness. Alright, next question, same subreddit. Men of Reddit, what is it like to be married? And, for me, it's this fantastic cooperation between two adults who share enough equal goals. Like, we know where we're going, and you know, we might bicker about little things, but one thing that I've seen between me and my wife is, you know, we get into these tiny little relationship arguments. Both of us feel like we're the only one doing anything, you know? When the going gets tough, you kind of forget what everyone else is going through, and you just kind of just go introspective and just think about your own experience and emotions, stuff like that. But when the shit hits the fan, we have a fantastic cooperational relationship. And she is a great asset to have for when the going gets tough. because she's hard as nails. And she doesn't think she is. I think she thinks of herself as a soft person, but she's really not. And I don't mean hard as cold or anything, but tough as hell. You know, I like to think of her as a donkey. I tell her this. You know? Because horses are bullshit. You know? They fucking can't do shit. They just trot around and then they step funny and you have to put them to death because they can't do anything. Whereas a donkey is like, you can keep going forever. Look out, like through humanity, who's been the hardest worker? It's the fucking donkey. And who gets the least credit? I hope I give her credit, but yeah, she's my donkey. And they're fucking funny. And she's fucking funny. And they have a lot of teeth. And she... I'm sorry, honey, if you're listening to this. But you do. I love you for your teeth. You know that. Alright. But besides that, what is it like to be married? You know, you get to play life in co-op with the person that you love. It's great. Best thing that ever happened to me. And you get to be weak. You get to share your weaknesses, and you get help with your weaknesses, and you get appreciations for your strength. It is work. I wouldn't say that it's hard work, but it's work. You need to work to make it work. You need to let go of some stuff that you don't want to let go of. You need to accept every aspect of that person that you're going to live with, and like completely accept that. Not tolerate, but accept. And when you do that, it's fine. It's not hard work. Alright, next question. Why are you so obsessed with storage containers? This is from the subreddit Ask Men. And I feel that there is some judgment packed in this question. I don't like your tone. And because I don't like the word obsessed, even though I completely am, any kind of storage container is just... yeah, it tickles me right in the right in the spot. Because it's so practical, and I love a good storage system, whether it be for work or if it's for your everyday stuff at home, or if it's hiking stuff. Oh, hiking stuff, man! All the internal dividers that you can keep it, like the pack bags and pack pods and waterproof stuff that you can make to, like a well sorted backpack that is easy to use, you can easily find, well packed, well thought through. That's a thing of beauty. Whereas a chaotic backpack, it can give me fucking panic. Oh god. And speaking of my wife, she just jams it all in there. She's perfectly fine with that. Just put it in there. Just, man. Whereas I'm like, not stressed because I can't, because I keep thinking of, like, if it's not the way I need it to be, then I don't wanna go, And why is this? Man, if I could, I have no clue why. Why are storage containers and a proper storage system, proper, effective, smart, clever storage system, why is it so rewarding? Because life can be hectic and hard to control. So if you can find this place which you can control, which you can sort, which you know where everything is, and you know how to get it, then that little place becomes your happy place, your peaceful, sorted place. Not to get too deep about storage containers, but man, I love storage containers. I mean, who doesn't? All right, I think we're coming into more of the southern parts of Spain, and well, I gotta say the nature around us here, it's starting to pick up. I think it's getting better. But we should be getting closer to the equator. No, Spain is not on the equator. I'm pretty sure it's not. So we should be moving into a warmer climate, but it's more lush and less arid here, a little bit at least. And I wonder why that is. We are moving inland, so it's maybe something about that. Is there more higher humidity here? That, well, maybe we still got the arid stuff here, brush. I don't know. All right, we got 126 kilometers to go, 651 for fuel. ETA is 1 hour and 38 minutes of in-game time. That'll equals to about 5 minutes. We need to rest in 6 hours and 36 minutes, so we're more than fine. All we need to do now is drive to the delivery point. Damn cops shouldn't be harassing other truck drivers like that. You did nothing wrong. And just unload this pork. I would believe it would be ham specifically. We got 4 minutes. We got time for a good question here. Also from the subreddit Ask Men. This question is 8 years old though. What are some good hobbies for a young man in his early 20s to pick up? And I would say woodworking of any kind. Because wood is a very forgiving material to work with, and it's easily accessible for the most part. Maybe that's easy for me to say as a person living in Sweden, but I think everyone is able to get a hold of some wood. And wood has different, there are different kinds of wood. You can learn how they all, how to work them towards their advantages and disadvantages. You get some really good, like, experiences with hand tools. So you can form some kind of, a standard way to operate hand tools, because I mean, there is the right way and then there is the wrong way, and right in the middle of that is your way, because not everyone operates their hand tools in the same manner. They don't hold them the same. They don't know which tools work best for them. And so when you get kind of proficient with woodworking, you can apply that kind of, well, first of all, it's good for your self-confidence, because you can do something. You can actually create something and make something that's useful. Be it only a butter knife, then you can make a butter knife by yourself, and you should. You get to own it. You get to take care of it. You get to learn how to treat it, to make it do whatever you need it to do, whatever it is that you're doing. And then you can apply that knowledge on multiple other things. The learning experience, how it was for you, how you went through it, how at first you started, you didn't know how to do anything, how you hurt yourself, how you avoid hurting yourself next time. Hopefully you learn that. Plus, when you're doing woodworking, you kind of come across, you will at some point come across some other fields, like metalworking, for instance, and carpentry, and some electricity. Like, say you make a butter knife, and then you make a storage container box, and then you at some point maybe you make a lamp foot, like, the base of a lamp on which you put the thing, I don't know what it's called, the shade. And so when you have gone so far in woodworking that you start coming into other fields, those fields won't feel as scary, because you've already kind of mastered woodworking a little bit. Now, you could go your entire life and not fully master woodworking. I'm not saying, like, do it for 2 weeks and you're going to be, Mr. Miyagi of hardwood. Not at all. But you will take the edge off the threshold of learning something new, and you will have a practical experience with something that you get to, with a project that you get to think up, plan, acquire materials, and then execute. Look, our delivery is just here on the, if you look at the map, you can see it's right here on the left side. Probably that blue building.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
And, like, I think everyone, no matter, what they do for a living, they can, woodworking can be a little therapeutic. Especially if you're working with any of the theoreticals. Because it's humans need practical projects that they need to finish.
Keep right.
That's how our reward system was. That's how it's evolved. And if you don't get to finish your project, your practical project, you won't be happy. So start with a piece of hardwood and a knife and some sandpaper.
Take the third exit.
And you make yourself a butter knife.
Keep right.
And you'll be a happier person for it. What are they doing? Are they just parked there?
Exit now.
So unless I really fuck up, I think I only have that one little, well, it's not little, I crashed someone's car, but
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
it's a fucking playground. Like, yeah, honey, let's go to the industrial area and let you play. Alright.
Keep right.
I keep
Exit
thinking that a
now.
car is gonna sneak up on me and get in front of me. Is this like...
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
huge place? Driving with my headlights on. Middle of the day. Do I go in here?
Exit now.
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, I am. Wow, that's...
Get ready to turn right.
turn right.
Turn right.
Alright. Oh yeah. Nice. I like how there's a gate, but there's no fence. Like...
It's all over now.
nah, what? Yeah, I gotta fucking... sorry about this. I need to... I'm sorry. This is childish. One of my favorite songs in the world is NWA. The song Fuck the Police. I don't need your gate. You can't tell me what to do. Sorry. Alright, let's find this place. Well, here we are. One of the easier parking jobs. I'm not gonna say it's easy until I've done it. Because you never know. Let's unload it. All right, stats for this beast of a job. 2,144 kilometers, 30.9. So we're, it's good. It's all right. We're at 3.0. It's almost, but it's not. So good. No damage. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. The crash wasn't my fault. I didn't get any damage. They took the damage, not me. So, good. I promised. I promised you. I thought I didn't deliver, but I did. So good. 1 hour and 54 minutes. Wow. Thanks for taking the time, man. Just wow. Has it been that long? Oh shit. I need to go. Tesoro Gustoso to Super Sesta. And the scanning is coming up on 25. That's cool. 20 tons of pork, 2,000 planned, 2,144. There was a detour, so I guess that's that. Tollgate. No ferries, no nothing. 43,511 was the income. Taxes was 6.5k. Other cost was 210. What is that? What is other costs? Fines. But it didn't register. It registered, but there was no damage. I think I'm good. Fuel cost 1,114. That's pretty expensive. Revenue is 35,659. 4.5 stars. 5 out of 5 for damage. 5 out of 5 for distance. 5 out of 5 for fines. 5 out of 5 for fuel economy. But there is this problem with mass that we keep struggling with when we however I think I need to go above like 30 tons or something to get a mass that's above wherever we are now, maybe even up to 50 to get 5 out of 5. So like I said, at some point we're going to do a really long, really heavy delivery, but it's not going to be now, so you're going to have to just hold your horses. Hardcore points 852. And how this is calculated? Well, the mass was 7, the distance was 857.6 hardcore points, no fines, no points, 0 points for damage, 0 points for fines, so that means I didn't get into the negative. Fuel economy was 12.36. And where do you think that they get that number from? Is it some kind of, who knows? Hard parking bonus was 0, so I don't think it can get into the positive either. Overall, I am very happy with these stats. These are good stats. I'm proud of myself. So anyway, thank you for taking the time with this. I honestly really appreciate it. And remember to take care of yourself, because you need to last for a long time. Bye.